Greetings, Ducklings! In this video, I will rank the great leaders of China: Qin Shi Huang, Mandate of Heaven; Qin Shi Huang, the Unifier; Kublai Khan, Zetian, Yongle, and Civilization 6. Each leader will be rated in 10 categories: leader bonus, civ bonus, unique unit, unique building, bonuses synergy, stat dependence, gameplay, survivability, peak power, win conditions. And we're starting with a leader who has his own unique opening, good old Qin Shi Huang, the Mandate of Heaven. But before we start, I have to warn you. This rating based on multiplayer experience where better balanced game and better balanced stats mods are used. Qin Shi Huangdi leader ability: the First Emperor. When building ancient and classical wonders, you may spend builder charge to complete a 15% of the original wonder cost. Cannons are unlocked with the masonry technology. This ability stacks well with the specific religion's beliefs, which make China early gameplay absolutely insane and unique. Because of that early game, China was one of the best cultural victory-oriented civs. As you might guess, the idea is to just spam wonders in your cities. And accumulate additional faith, science, culture, and gold with help of divine inspiration belief and sacred places belief. Community spent quite a lot of time to figure out how to outplay this specific build order. Time have changed, you can rarely see China on a pro scene, but this ability is still strong and I rated it with an 8 apples. Civilization bonus, dynastic cycle. Eureka's and inspiration provides 50% of civics and technologies instead of 40%. When completing a wonder, receive a random Eureka and inspiration from the era of the wonder, if available. Builder receive an additional charge. This is absolute insane civ ability. We'll start with the last one, additional builder charge. It's like a build in the Great Pyramids. And additional Eurekas and inspiration, well, for experienced players, it's about a 10% of science and culture for your civ. And keep in mind, with a Golden Age dedication, you can get another 10% of it. You don't have to do anything special to use this ability, you just build it in and you're enjoying playing China with a dynastic cycle. It of course gives you an incredible tempo, so I rated this ability as 10 out of 10. Crouching Tiger is a Chinese unique unit that replaced a crossbowman, plus 7 rage strength when attacking adjacent enemy units. Unfortunately, it's not that strong as it used to be, because with the mod your ranged and siege unit won't have any support bonus. Before that, it was absolutely giga chat unit, but now it's not. But it's still good defensive unit, and with the Great Wall you can handle night charge with it. But in most cases it is still just a regular crossbowman. That is why I just can't give it more than a 4 apples. The Great Wall. The masonry technology unlocked the builder ability to construct the Great Wall, unique to China. Plus 1 production. An occupying unit receives plus 4 defense strength and automatically gains 2 turns of fortification. Plus 1 gold for each adjacent Great Wall, plus 1 culture for each adjacent Great Wall with the castle technology. Provides tourism after researching flight. Must be built and align the border of your empire. Can only be pillaged, never destroyed, by natural disasters. So in a general, it's a good early game Golden Age secure and a good early game fort. It was hardly nerfed, so now it's not that popular to build the wall along your borders. You can of course get some gold and culture and even protection after all, but you won't work this style at all. From another hand, it can help you with a culture victory in the late game, but the tourism it provides is not that high and pre-requirements are quite tough. So I rated it with a 5 apples and I don't think it deserves more. And now the sweetest part, bonus synergy. In my opinion, dynastic cycles stacks well with anything you can put in other bonuses that China has. The only weak link here is a crouching tiger, but it still can be used with a Great Wall combination. And the Great Wall itself gives you some tourism in the late game, and of course those wonders you were building earlier gives you some tourism. Everything works for Queen so smoothly that I can't rate it less than 9. The Tiger is still not the best unique unit, it won't help you to defend yourself that hard as, for example, Legions. And now let's talk about that things. The stat dependence. Unfortunately, to perform Chinese build, you need to have specific pre-requirements for wonders. And the biggest problem here is a stone. If you don't have any stone around, you just not the China anymore, you just regular Civ. Of course, you need some deer to build Artemis, you need river to build hanging gardens, and so on and so on. There is a lot of things that can go wrong for China just after the first turn. I personally don't like gambling thieves, and talking about China, it's all about gambling. I hate gambling leaders, that is why I can't give Queen Shi Huang the Mandate of Heaven more than 4 apples for its star dependence. And now let's back to a fun part, to a gameplay. There is not that many leaders in the game who has its own unique gameplay style. Qin Shi Huang is one of them. It's really easy to play Qin Shi Huang. You don't have to worry about your golden age at all. You have the wall, you have crunching tigers, the first, second and the third golden age certainly will be easy to get. Once again, if you are lucky enough to have a decent start with all the pre-requirements for wonders completed, you'll have a great game. And you can really feel the power of an early game with all those wonders you're constructing, with all the space you get from that. So I believe it's fair to rate him with an 8 apples. Survivability is not a problem at all for China. Yes, you can suffer from a horseman rush early in the game, but it's not an issue for you to chop some units because of extra charge on your builders. And once you reach the Great Walls, it actually acts like a walls, so your units will be harder to kill. In the mid game, you have a crouching tiger, so you're quite safe till the cuirassiers, but by that time, with your extremely good sim, you should be fine to defend yourself. Dynastic cycle will drag you out of any trouble situation you might get in. So I won't surprise anyone with a 6 apple for China for its survivability. China seems like a regular civ without any good military bonuses, and it's actually true. But can it really turn table when it's time to take a fight? The easy answer is no. Qin Shi Huang can't do this. But once again, with a good sim and a certain timing attack, which might be a bit earlier than everyone else because of Dynasty cycle, you can damage your opponents. And to be fair, you will never be behind them. So I'd say it's about 5 apple for China peak power, and once again, thanks to this dynasty cycle. And the hardest topic, where I have to be honest to myself, win conditions. One of the clearest win conditions for Qin Shi Huang is cultural victory. But to be honest, you don't have that many tourism bonuses. All your wonder are from ancient or classical era, and you can't build more of them in a later game. Once again, talking about Dynasty cycle, it of course helps you with timings, but in a general you can't attack anyone or it will be hard for you to defend yourself even with the walls. And of course, if you failed early game, it will be hard for you to snowball and there is no way back for China. But I really like how Qin Shi Huang is played, and I will be very generous in this topic and give him 6 apples. So in total, Qin Shi Huang was able to collect 66 apples. Qin Shi Huang Unifier has new 36 stratagems leader's ability. Melee units receive the Convert Barbarian action. This action converts barbarian units into your units, but it removes the melee unit. This is the most ridiculous ability ever. It's absolutely useless in some multiplayer formats where barbarians are simply turned off. But even in a single player, it's a trashy ability you don't really want to have in your pockets. For an early game, you basically swap warrior for a spearman, which is quite bad because you can't clear barbarian camp with a spearman. You don't have that extra plus 10 bonus strength against anti-cavalry units anymore. I don't think that later in the game barbarian's camp might be a problem for you, so it's no use in a later game either. And of course, you can compare this ability with the first Emperor ability, where you can build wonders almost for free and a free barbarian camp in a cost of 20 production because warrior costs 20 production. I can talk about how trashy this ability is, but I just give it 2 apples and we'll move on. Civilization bonus, unique unit and unique building is basically the same for all Chinese regions, so we'll skip to the bonus synergy. Dynasty cycle is still strong, it can boost you toward your unique unit or unique improvement, but it stacks poorly with your leader ability. That is why Qin Shi Huang Unifier lost a lot of apples in this topic. I can grant him no more than 5 apples here because barbarians is not a threat at all and you don't have to spend your leader ability to deal with them. Because you don't have any specific strategy to play as Unifier, you doesn't really care about start at all. I don't want to be a bringer of bad news, but I believe you are aware that China has one of the worst starts in the game. In a best scenario, you'll get green hills and some stone. In a worse, just green flatlands. Even dynastic cycles can't carry you with this top of starts. You can of course go Magnus internals for the win, but without any good production tiles in a site, you still will struggle to build any of those extra trade routes. So in conclusion, it is hard for you to play the full Chinese start and you'd like to have it above average. That is why I granted 5 apples. Not because this thief can't play bad starts, but because this thief had to play bad starts in most of the cases. No matter what, gameplay is still okay for Qin Shi Huang Unifier. You still have a chance to build a wall, to get first golden age crushing tiger, and help you to get second. You probably like to put pen brush and voice as your dedication in both cases, so you can play as a regular meta slave without having any fun at all. And of course the biggest reason why you can have a bad gameplay experience is the poor starts where everything is slow and even Dynasty Cycle sometimes can't carry you out of that shithole you are born in. I can't say you can't win the game with a Unifier, but it's way more harder than with any other Chinese leader. That is why I granted only 6 apples, only to appreciate the Dynasty Cycle ability. Survivability for him is of course an issue. You still got your extra builder charge, so you can chop some units. Trading your units for a barbarian unit is not a good ability at all, besides you don't have enough barbarian units around, especially in a multiplayer games. So in a general you won't die from a horseman harass, but you will always feel uncomfortable because of your low tempo. Tigers are still there and wolves will help you, so same as the first emperor, you still can handle mid game well. But in a late game, with that lower tempo, you will struggle much harder than other leaders. So yes, you won't die, but it won't be a luxury life. That is why I grant Unifier only 5 apples in a survivability topic. And of course, with a lower tempo, you will have way worse timings, and your finest hours might never happen. And I don't think you can ever turn table with a Unifier, so I just grant him 4 apples and will move on. Win conditions for this leader is unclear. You can of course try to achieve cultural victory because you have bonus from walls and dynasty cycle will boost your attack, so maybe somehow you can perform a timing attack with the tanks and the fascists. But even that can't guarantee your victory. And of course you can't rely on barbarian camps in the late game. And with that I grant him only 4 out of 10 points here, which in total brings only 51 apple on a unified table. Okay, after that madness, let's talk about something cool and unexpected about Kublai Khan China. His unique ability grants one extra economic policy slot in any government, receive a random eureka and inspiration when establishing a trading post in another civilization city for the first time, +1 science and +1 culture per international trade route. This ability sounds simple, but it's so strong. Extra policy card is always good. But that's not all. This ability forces you to have externals, where you can get extra science and culture per trade route. That's awesome. And of course, Eureka's and inspiration granted when you establish trading post, which stacks well with dynastic cycle. Every word, every sentence of this ability is amazing, and it gives you the feel of good trading thief. It might be not that obvious, but this is one of the strongest abilities in the game That is why I granted it 10 apples. We'll once again skip everything till the bonuses synergy. We'll once again skip him Civ bonus, unit bonus, and unique building bonus, and heading straight to bonuses synergy. As I mentioned earlier, unique ability stacks well with a Civ bonus. And we figured out that Tigers stacks well with the Great Walls. And of course, with extra science, culture, and free Eureka's, you can reach Tigers and Walls even faster. You can easily protect your borders with that, and with extra science and policy cut, your tempo is superiorly high. All your bonuses except your unique unit grants you some culture and even science in some sort of way, which makes Kublai Khan China amazingly good seeming Civ. Where all bonuses works together smoothly, I can't give him less than 10 apples because of that. With all that amazing bonuses, Kublai Khan China is still China and has Chinese low quality stats. But I have to admit he's way less dependent on what he has on his starting position. Eventually you will find your trading partner and you boost each other with extremely good external trade route. And of course for early game Magnus internals is always an option. Most likely you'll chop everything to have faster trade routes. Or you can play a wide empire and start with the 7 cities or even more. To succeed in the game, you can spam commercial hubs and get other districts later. To do that, only a few hills and forest tiles will be enough, and with that I grant him 7 apples out of 10 possible. And now the gameplay. It is of course super easy to play Kublai China and it's some sort of boring. You have only one strategy, mass commercial hubs spam, and of course you have some nice stats with this one. You can play Coastal Empire with the same efficiency as a Land Empire, because all your bonuses come from trade routes but not from specific districts. And of course with the help of Dynastic Cycle you can play Hybrid Empire, without being afraid of missing land or naval attack. In conclusion, yes, Kublai Khan is strong and it's easy to play, that is why I grant him 8 apples for a gameplay topic. There's actually nothing to talk about survivability, it still has Crouching Tiger and a Great Wall, so you'll be fine with that. And of course with extra science, culture and extra boost from Eureka's and inspirations, you'll be good with all your timings. So in most cases no one can have timing attack against you, but you can perform your own. From the other hand, you don't have any military bonuses, which makes you weaker against some warmongering civs. It will be fair to grant Kublai Khan 6 apples out of 10 for his survivability. As I just mentioned, China has no any military bonuses, so its peak power most likely will never happen. But with the Kublai Khan you still have good timings, so maybe you can perform some sort of timing attack with a late game, like with the tanks for example. Can it change something in the game? Most likely not, but you can delay your opponents. So as the other Chinese leaders, this guy can have about 5 apple for this big power topic. With such a strong bonuses as Kublai Khan China has, you can achieve any type of victory, but there is no specific type of victory for you to aim for. You can just play a game and randomly win any type of it. Well, maybe except religious. Having good friends nearby and good relations with your neighbors might lead you to have strong alliances which help you to achieve cultural or science victory. But the timings for this victory might not be that impressive, even though dynastic cycle will hardly boost your tech and civic advance. It is still a quite strong civ, so I granted 6 apples for its win condition, which in total sums up to a 71 apples. This is definitely a strong result and Kublai Khan China deserve each apple. And now it's time to talk about Black Queen of China, Wu Zetian. It's like a Catherine de Medici, the Black Queen but worse. So its leader's ability, Manual of Entrapments, all offensive spy operation at level 1 higher. When an offensive spy mission is successful, you also gain 50% of the culture and science that the targeted city earned at that turn. Receive a free spy, an extra spy capacity after discovering defensive tactics. So let's talk about this ability more detail. So extra spy operate level looks cool and it looks even better than what Catherine de Medici has, but it's actually not. Generally, you really care about only level 2 spies which gives you extra Diplo vision, and Catherine can reach that level 2 faster. Then you need level 3 spy to have a better chance to operate Catherine de Medici. And it takes time. Well, we can count it's about 15 turns. For an online speed game, it's a lot of time. And of course, spies are working really weird. You can easily lose your spy even with a 90% chance of success. So it's only about your luck and not about your operation level. So unpracticed players are not willing to risk their spies. If you got level 2 spy, you're just chilling there and having extra deep vision with it. And of course, more offensive operations means more chances to lose your spy. In a multiplayer game, nobody ever will give your spy back if it's captured, so it's better when your spy dies than it's captured. And the last part of the bonus is 50% of culture and science from that city. It's nothing. It's nothing compared to what you can do with a simple horseman with just pillaging any tile of your opponent. In a bad situation, it's about 50 culture, 50 science, when you probably will generate about 150 or even more. So yes, it sounds cool, but on practice it doesn't do that much. And of course, delaying your level 2 spy will delay your possible timing attack with crouching tigers or any other units that you might get in a medieval where your extra spy will arrive. Terracotta might of course help you with the level 2 spy, but Catherine de Medici can get level 2 spy with this wonder right after she gets it. So this ability is not that good for a timing attack, or it's not that good in the long run because eventually you're gonna lose your spy, but if of course good for an extra defense with a better Diplo vision. In my opinion, it deserves no more than a 5 apples. We're moving forward straight to bonuses synergy. I believe that Wu Zetian is an aggressive Chinese leader. Dynastic cycle is still strong and it can boost your spice and printing, so you can maybe have a nice timing attack with the medieval units, and of course it's really hard to deal with you because of that Diplo vision you can have. So yes, as with the previous cases, all bonuses boosting each other, even the leader ability, some sort of fit in this combo wombo. I believe with BBG mod this ability might be relocated to a machinery where it will be more useful, so you don't have to split your science on a top and a bottom tech tree. With that prediction, I grant Wudaitan 8 apples to a bonuses synergy as an advance. Star dependence. I can't add nothing here in this topic, it's a still green hills of China. You'll have a bit less production than other civs, and with the Wudaitan you won't have that extremely good simming bonuses as with the Kublai China. So yes, it's about 5 apples, no more nor less. Gameplay with Wuzai-chan is stressful. Your spies are not immortal, you have to rush Green Policy card for the spy, and of course you have to rush Potala Palace. And you have to do everything this just to receive extra 50 science and 50 culture in the best situations. The spy of using spy mechanics a lot Wuzai-chan brings nothing to the table, which is quite boring and sometimes is frustrating. I grant her 6 apples because I like spice a lot, but I don't think that she might be a new Black Queen. But we should always look on the bright side of life. In terms of survivability, she's the only one Chinese leader which has extra military bonus. And I have to remind you that each extra level of diplomatic with ability grants your unit 3 military strength. That means that you can survive any attack or attack anyone with that extra spice in medieval. And of course, if you have level 2 spy and your opponent not, you'll get extra deep vision and extra military strength for your units. With that knowledge, it's become clear that Wuzaitan deserves at least 7 apples for its survivability. Peak power for Wuzaitan is a big tricky topic. You can of course try to all-in in medieval with extra spy, but in most cases you'll have about 5 to 10 turns with an extra military strength from your units. That is why it's way better to wait till the very end of the game when you'll have level 2 spy and probably your opponent won't. Right now it is hard for me to tell can you perform a good timing attack with a Wuzaitan, but it's clear that she can do it way better than all other Chinese leaders. With that, I grant her 6 apples and she deserved each of it. And once again, she doesn't have specific win condition. You can randomly achieve any type of it. But with an extra spice, she can delay victory of her opponents which gives her more chances to achieve victory. You can of course try to achieve military victory, but it only depends on your opponents, not on you. Do they have level 2 spy or not? So I think 5 apples is more than enough to represent with a ton win conditions, which in total gives her 61 apples, and that's an amazing result. And now it's time to talk about the strongest leader of the pack, Yongle. Unique leader's ability Ligia. All cities receive projects when they can convert 50% of their production into food, phase, or 100 production if it's gold. Cities with 10 or more population receive 2 gold, 1 science, and 1 culture per turn for each population in the city. And that is crazy amount of stats and gold. It's a built-in Reina, Pingala, and Moksha in every single city you have. Because why would you keep cities with less than 10 pops? And the first part of the leader bonus is not that strong. It sounds nice, but in practice you're rarely gonna use it. This ability most likely will help you to achieve cultural victory, but you can of course aim for religious or scientific victory, or even military victory. So without a doubt, this is the one of the best abilities in the game, and I granted 10 apples. Now we're moving straight to the bonuses synergy topic. Extra science, culture and gold helps you of course with everything else, and it stacks perfectly with the dynasty cycle. It helps you to reach tigers faster and even the Great Wall. But it also opens a door to a monumentality gameplay. And this time it's even better than with the Qin Shi Huang. So the biggest problem of the monumentality is that you are in a lack of gold, science and culture, and this guy gives you that stats. You can simply aim for the Fill the World and the River Goddess, which gives you extra housing and amenities, and reach 10 pops in no time, with every single city you own. So this ability not only stacks well with his bonuses, but it stacks well with the basic game mechanics. If I could give this guy 11 or even 12 apples, I'd do it. But unfortunately, we are limited only with a 10. Start dependence. Well, you still have Chinese start, but this time this is an advantage. You can chop everything around you, build triangle farms, rush fair, and have 10 pop cities everywhere. You can play naval, you can play land empire, you can go monumentality, you can go Magnus internals. It doesn't really care what to do in the game if you can reach 10 pops. You can find some troubles only if you have too many hills, so you won't be able to build any triangle farms for quite a long time. But that is the least thing you should worry about. The second problem here is the freshwater accessibility. You'd like to have all your cities built next to a source of fresh water, and unlike Rome, you can't wait for an aqueduct. I believe it's a solid 8, maybe slightly more, but I think this ability will be hardly nerfed with a PBG mod. And when that happened, he definitely will rely on his starting location way more. But anyways, gameplay for now is super fun for Yongle. I'm a huge fan of granaries and watermills, and as you might know, Civ community hates both of these buildings. And it does really hard to say what Civ community hates more, building farms or granaries. But with this amazing leader I can finally fulfill my needs with a farm's construction. So what I'm trying to say is I had a lot of fun making super tall city with extra yields granted with each pop. And at some point you might just think that you don't really need the other districts. You don't want to waste your farm space for an extra districts. You just wanna grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And as a rest, leaders of China, he have no troubles with the first and second golden age, and even with the third one, thanks to his incredibly tall cities. Once again, if I could give more than 10, I'd give it, but unfortunately we're limited, so it's 10 out of 10. Survivability for this leader on a very good level. You can of course have some troubles earlier and before you reach 10 pops, but then it's not a problem at all because you will outseem everyone around you. And you still have extremely amount of science and culture, so you can easily rush printing or nationalism. But as all Chinese leaders, he doesn't have direct military bonuses. So if you can survive early, you probably can survive mid and late game. And I think he's a solid 6 in terms of survivability. I believe the late game is where this Civ is on its peak. You can easily reach tier 3 government and I believe it will be faster than everyone else. So with that you probably can conquer one of your neighbors, maybe even two. So I think you can actually change the things in the game, or I'd say you can keep the things on track. Because most likely you will be the biggest boy on the planet. And everyone else will try to destroy you, so you have to destroy them first before they're making coalition against you. So yes, I wouldn't say that it is like a turntable. It's just like to keep things as it should be, to keep you at the top, to keep you as a winner. So in that terms, yes, I guess peak power is quite good with this one, and I granted 7 apples. Win conditions. Yes, I mentioned that earlier, and I can repeat that you can achieve cultural, religious, scientific, and military victory easily with Yongle. You kinda have that cultural victory preferences, but in general you can do whatever you want. Unfortunately, Yongle doesn't have a specific type of victory bonuses, so I can't grant him highest rank because of it. But your bonuses gives you more than above chances to achieve any type of victory. So I think 7 apples is a fair rank here. And you might think that 7 is too low for him, but you should keep in mind that the mod will probably, and I'm 100% sure, will nerf his leader ability, but even with that nerf, I think he'll still be a strong leader. In total, Yongle gathered 77 apples. This makes him strongest leader I rated so far, and I hardly doubt that someone can beat his record. Thanks a lot for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video a lot. If it is so, please like and leave a comment below as a sacrifice to YouTube algorithms. Subscribe if you haven't yet and share this video with your friends. Sending you positive vibes, much love, have a nice day.